Hey everybody, let's talk about some terrible brides.
Well, we're going to decide if they're terrible or not. So we were casually browsing our Bridezilla, and there are a couple of stories. And you and I and our lovely comment section is going to be the judge. This is the first one. Am I the bad guy for asking my groomsman to dye his hair for my wedding? I, 22 female, have been good friends with my groomsman, 22 male, since middle school. All through high school, I had bright red hair and was known for dyeing my hair wild colors. I still like the look, but now I'm out of high school. I've opted for a more belige. I can't say that word.
But
Belige,
beige?
blonde,
Is that what that is? Beige,
beige.
right?
I don't know. Blonde slash brown neutral colors. My groomsman had never dyed his hair until a couple of months ago. He bleached it and dyed it fire engine red. It was so bright, I kept telling myself it will fade. He'd get sick of it and go back to brown or just shave it off by then. The wedding is now a couple of weeks away and it's still just a faded orange color. He asked me recently what shade of blue he should dye it for the wedding. I replied, brown. We had a fire a few nights ago with the entire we had a fire a few nights ago with the entire bridal party, at which he hosted I can't say that words. Hostily. 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 I'm gonna read the sentence again. We had a fire a few nights ago with the entire bridal party, at which he hostily brought up the hair color situation, and and said, and I quote, "Well, I'm not going back to brown. So what shade of blue?" The tone of his voice didn't sit right with me, and I changed the subject because it made me extremely uncomfortable. My issue with the hair is my colors are lilac and navy blue. Red doesn't match that. If he does dye it a shade of blue, I feel it will be eye catching and I don't want anything taken away from me in my dress. I stated this to him, to which he ignored me. Is it wrong of me to fully put my foot down on this? I'd even be okay with a temporary brown spray. I've been walked over with almost everything to do with my wedding planning by too many over controlling people involved. And I finally had this one thing I was trying to put my foot down on, and he's making me feel like a bleep for even mentioning it.
This is easy.
Opinions, everybody.
She's justified in feeling this way, but she should have thought about this before she asked him to be in the wedding. If that was going to be a problem, and well,
But I
she
think he
didn't.
colored it after he asked, right? After she asked him.
No, it was bright red, right? A couple months ago.
Mm. This is my thing. You are going to be in the white dress. Everybody knows it's your wedding. So somebody with blue hair on your bridal party doesn't matter. It it really
Right. It
doesn't
doesn't. I
matter.
don't like the reasoning for why she wants to get rid of it. Right. Because it'll take away from her in her wedding dress. That's not the issue.
See, I get it. I get it if it's like, oh, like, both our parents are very like orthodox, and they might like feel uncomfortable,
And
it might be rude, blah blah blah. I understand. But just because it takes it away from her
but
wedding.
but come on, that's gonna be in the wedding pictures forever. That blue hair is always gonna be in the wedding pictures. So
See,
I can understand it honestly.
like okay, maybe it's just me, but I don't care.
I mean, I don't
Like
care, but I can see. I think
even if
she's
I go
justified.
through uh, I think in this case the groomsman is being a little too much, where it's like, hey, it's one of your really close friend's wedding and this is one of her wishes that you just don't go crazy colored.
Here's number two. Am I the bad guy for not giving my cousin a +1 to my wedding because his girlfriend smells like eggs? Basically, the title: I, 26 female, am about to marry my partner, 29 male, next week. We both have big families, so it's going to be a big wedding. I have 3 siblings and more than a dozen cousins, and I wanted to invite them all. One of my cousins who's closest to me in age is Mike, 27 male. He also lives closer to me than some of the rest of the family, so I've had the chance to see him more than the others, including meeting his girlfriend, Anna, 28 female. She's nice, I guess, but she smells like eggs all the time. It makes her hard to be around, and that stress isn't something I want to deal with on my wedding. When I brought up my concerns with my partner and told him that I didn't want her coming, he said it was my side of the family and I could do what I wanted with the invitations. So I did. She's not coming. I sent my cousin an invite, no +1. Well, Mike just found out he's the only close family member not getting a +1, and he was upset. He asked if there was a mistake, and despite not wanting to deal with his drama, I told him the truth. It wasn't a mistake, I just didn't want Anna coming. When he pressed me on the issue, I told him that she smelled, was hard to be around, and I didn't want her coming. He yelled at me and called me some unpleasant things before saying if she wasn't coming, then neither was he. I told him he had to come. It's my wedding and he has to be there. He ignored me and then he blocked me. I understand why he might be upset, but he has to be able to see my side too. Am I really the bad guy for not wanting to add stress to my wedding? Why is that stressful? Oh, look at this.
Look.
Trimethylaminuria is a rare genetic condition. People who have it are unable to break down a chemical compound called trimethylamine. The compound leaves the body in the sweat, urine, and breath, giving off a smell resembling that of rotten egg, fish, or garbage. I'm not saying this was the problem, but it could have been. I think it's sad that the bride didn't sit down with her cousin way before the wedding and talk to him about his girlfriend. She should have said she was concerned about his girlfriend's health. Was she okay? Even if he got mad, at least it was of concern and caring instead of your girlfriend stinks, she can't come. And yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think she should have addressed it like beforehand. What if everybody else who's close is actually married and they have +1s, but they're not married? That's why. I mean, there could be a million reasons like, oh, everybody else is married, so they have a +1. I'm not married. We're just dating. That's why I don't have a +1. Or it could also be they had just started dating like a month ago and she's like, it's not like you're not like in a long-term relationship. Like I I would rather give somebody else the seat than, you know?
But it's a thing to go to a wedding with a date. That's like a thing that people do. They get a date to go to a wedding.
But what if it's like a small, like 20 people wedding?
You gotta count for a +1.
Oh my gosh. This is like an American thing. In India, you just call everybody and anybody, whether they stink or not.
Yeah,
You could have just 20 people just stinking of the entire
because
place.
they probably will stink because it's hot and everybody's sweating.
Adrian, that's mean. That's
Everyone's
so
when you
mean.
sweat, it stinks.
Okay, that is true.
That's like down
Okay.
here too. It gets hot over here too.
Groomzilla. It's about the groom this
Oh,
time. Groomzilla demands nobody can leave his wedding early. My 10 plus year friend, 35 male, invited me to his wedding 3 years ago. Because of COVID, it was postponed to this summer. In the meantime, they got civil married and had 2 kids. I wasn't particularly thrilled about the wedding. I don't know anybody. It's a 5 hour drive with 3 kids and it lasts a whole weekend. But I wanted to be here because it's socially awkward not to go. Last week, he sent every guest a mail asking who needed babysitter at the wedding for the night. I answered casually that we would not need as we have 3 kids, one of whom is 7 months old, and that we will have to put the children to bed at 10 or 11 p.m., which didn't seem a big deal to me. He texted me angrily that it was not accepted not to stay at least until 1 a.m. because he was working so hard to make everything perfect and that he would prefer me not to come rather than us leaving the dinner early. And that out of 250 guests, I was the only one to dare, not caring about the most important day of his life. I told him that we wouldn't come if he preferred, and he immediately canceled my room booking and reimbursed it to me. Am I the bad guy?
Uh, that's crazy. That is
You are
crazy.
my prisoners!
Groomzilla needs to chill. That's just awful.
You
100%.
shall not pass.
If people have kids, they may not be able to stay till 1 a.m. to your dinner. Are you eating until
I
1 a.m.?
I would.
Nah, nah.
Lose weight if you want to be my maid of honor. So I think this is like it's a tweet. My closest cousin, the closest thing I have to a sibling, has officially confirmed I won't be her maid of honor because I'm just too fat for a maid of honor role. Have to lose some weight before December or no maid of honor duties for me. I shan't be attending the wedding. Good on you, girl. Good on you.
That's wild.
Who
It's
goes up to
wild.
someone and say, "You fat"?
No, it's wild that you would put that stipulation. Hey, I want you to be maid of honor, but you've got to lose weight first. Just don't ask them to be maid of honor. Something like what? That is crazy. That's insane.
Yeah, why would you? Yeah, that's true. Why would you ask her and then tell her to lose weight? Just don't ask her.
Right. If it's that big of a deal to you, that
Awful,
is
awful.
absolutely awful. All right. Am I the bad guy for refusing to RSVP to my sister's wedding because I'm required to write an application essay just to attend? Yes,
Hold
I
up.
know.
Before we go, hold on. Before we go into the details, what?
Yeah, I know this sounds insane, but I'm living in it. So my sister is getting married next February, destination wedding no less. I have doubts whether this wedding is actually going to happen with the pandemic and everything, but she is totally set on moving forward. Anyways, because of the pandemic, her original venue has made her cut down on guests because they're cutting capacity by half. As a result, she's sending out re-invites that ask everyone to RSVP again. But in order to figure out who to invite and who to cut, she's asking all confirmed guests to submit two 250-word essays to two questions. The gist is that they'll use these essays to choose who can come or not, based on people's
Oh my.
enthusiasm. People who don't write the essays at all will be automatically disqualified. I just feel really insulted by all of this. The questions aren't even pandemic related. It's broad topics like, why do you still want to celebrate this day with us? And what will attending our wedding mean to you specifically? So she's blatantly looking for people to kiss booty and tell her why they really want to go. Anyways, I told her in advance I'm not writing 500 words on why I need to attend her wedding, spend my own money on plane tickets and hotels, and buy her a present. This has really rubbed her and my parents the wrong way. She said that to keep things fair, if I don't fill out the RSVP correctly, I won't be saved a spot. I said, fine with me. Then my parents said if I don't show up, I'm going to be in big trouble with all our relatives, so just write the essays. Am I the bad guy if I stay stubborn on this? I'm already annoyed at the thought of spending thousands and coming home to quarantine, but I will not belt out 500 words on how this is totally my choice. Edit. I'm 27 female. I don't live with family, but she is my only sister. Edit 2. Sister has framed these essays as surveys, but there's a word limit requirement, so if you don't reach it on the Google Forms, you can't even submit. Parents think this is perfectly reasonable, nice even, because sister is letting everyone have the chance to attend.
I'm mortified.
She can't even reserve a spot for her sister.
I know. Why does a sister have to write 500 words of essay. Maybe we
Right?
should do that at our wedding. We said like, oh, only like 100 people can come. So if you give it like, do like a full college application kind of thing, please write, why would it mean so much to come to our wedding?
That's
No.
that sounds like borderline like
Oh,
sociopathic or like narcissist or something. Like that's
it's narcissistic.
insane. That's
That's
insane.
crazy. Right now, my mind can't even comprehend. Like,
All right, here we go. Got another one. Am I the bad guy for wanting to uninvite a bridesmaid who can only make it to the ceremony? All right, long story short, one of my bridesmaids told me last week she will be leaving immediately after my ceremony to make it to another wedding on the same day, wedding of partner's sister, and about an hour away. My wedding is this July. At first, I was understanding, but the more I think about it, I have begun to feel hurt that she is leaving immediately so she can be there for the entire wedding while missing most of mine. I feel like she should have at least wanted to be there for part of my reception since she's committed to being a bridesmaid last year and we've been friends for so long, and the wedding is so soon. I cannot imagine not wanting to be there to experience one of my close friends' weddings till the end, and it hurts me that she thinks this is okay. No apology so far, just laughter about the irony of the situation. Our wedding will be pretty small, 6 in bridal party, less than 30 to 35 guests, and we just want to feel supported and valued on that day. After what has been a really hard year for my fiance and I, and this is not how she is making me feel. I feel like it will be hurtful and uncomfortable to have to watch her make a dash for the exit immediately when the ceremony ends, whether she is a bridesmaid or not. I'm also worried that she could potentially leave before the ceremony is over to make it in time for this other wedding, which definitely would be horrible if she was a bridesmaid. If I choose to uninvite her, am I the bad guy? And even if I am or am not, any advice on what I should do if I decide to uninvite her? I would like to communicate it with her so as not to burn a bridge or hurt her, but so that she understands I am choosing to prioritize my own feelings just as she is. Edit. I want to thank the commenters who made me realize I'm missing out on the opportunity to make millions by appearing on the actual Bridezilla show. But in seriousness, I want to thank you who took the time to read my post and leave thoughtful comments on an issue I'm going through. While what I wrote may appear petty, especially when I can't share the full story, a lot of my hurt and confusion comes from the fact that someone who I thought I was very close to just laughed and does not care when I told her it makes me sad that she cannot be there for a large portion of this day and may leave at any time, her words. I agree with your points that I should be understanding of her other obligations, but I think the issue goes beyond her not being at the wedding and is about the way she is handling it. Yeah, I mean, I think that this is a pretty petty thing overall. Like, yeah, you do have obligations whenever you're like in the bridal party, but most of that is at the actual ceremony, and leading up to it. So
mm-hmm.
if she has to leave to fulfill other obligations, that's not that big of a deal, I don't think.
But
It's
I think
it's
she's not mad about her leaving. She's mad about how she's handling the bride telling her
yeah,
how
she's
it
being
makes her
nonchalant, and
feel.
then the bride's
Yeah.
sitting and stewing over it and thinking about it and
Yeah.
overthinking it. Yeah. Um, I'm
I would have said like, "Hey, I'll be there till the ceremony, all the pictures I'll do it, but I think she's also thinking about she won't be there for the pictures. Like she said in the edit that it seems like she might even have to leave before the wedding ends. That means like if she's standing at the altar with the bride and she's
she's
like,
gonna
"Oh,
slip out.
it's 12 o'clock."
She's not gonna do that. There's no way she's gonna do that.
I mean, the way the post comes out to be, that's what it sounds like. And with her
Right.
like nonchalant behavior, like it does sound like that's what she might do. So,
All right. Me and my fiance Jack, 29 female and 38 male, are getting married in a couple months. I have 6 bridesmaids, including Jack's sister Mary and my cousin Cassie, 25 female. Jack has another sister, Anne, 31, who wasn't invited to the wedding originally because of some family issues. This conflict has now been resolved, and we later gave Anne an invite. Now, I initially planned to ask both Mary and Anne if they wanted to be bridesmaids, but obviously, because of the issue with Anne, I didn't end up asking her. Anne is now saying that she should be a bridesmaid as well, and while it's a bit last minute, I do think she should be bridesmaid since I was originally going to ask her anyway. I still only want 6 bridesmaids, so I asked Cassie if she would step down so Anne could be in it. I told her I knew it was unexpected. We would compensate for her dress that has already been ordered, and she was still invited as a regular guest. Cassie seemed confused and asked why I had asked her to be bridesmaid to begin with, to which I explained the scenario with Anne and that she deserves the spot more. Cassie eventually agreed. I thought that was the end of that, but some of my other bridesmaids said that I was being unfair to Cassie by kicking her out and that I should apologize to her. I got mad at that because I didn't think I did anything wrong. Perhaps not ideal, but not wrong. So I called Cassie and asked if she'd been bad-mouthing me to the other girls. She replied that she just said the truth about me kicking her out, to which I said that it wasn't her place to say it, and I would have told them. Cassie argued that they had a right to know. I said that she was acting privileged and it isn't her right to be my bridesmaid. Jack and his family think I did the right thing by standing my ground, but my mom was not happy for me being harsh to Cassie. Am I the bad guy? The reason I asked Cassie specifically to step down is because she was my last choice for bridesmaid anyway when I didn't ask Anne, and I've had some issues with her before.
You are the bad guy. She's the bad guy for
Hands
sure.
down.
If
Hands down.
if the bridesmaid has bought the dress, you're the bad guy. And also, it's not his sister's right to be your bridesmaid.
Right.
It's your right to choose who you want at your bridal party.
But that's what she thinks. That's what the sister even thinks, is that she should be bridesmaid. It even says that in there.
Yeah, nah.
No,
Nah, you're
that's
the bad guy.
Yep.
You're the bad guy. You're
Just
the bad
awful.
guy. So
Unjustified.
so Adrian and I, we've talked about like who we'd want in our bridal party. I mean,
yeah.
if you're planning a wedding, you think about it. And there are people, if we were to write down every single person we want on our bridal party, it would be an overwhelming amount of people
ridiculously
at the
large bridal party.
we would have like 10 people on each side. That's ridiculous. At least. So what you do is you take the people that you want on the bridal party, and not that the others are not important, but you think that you could give them something else that's equally important to you and for the wedding.
Right.
It's nobody's right to be a groomsman or right to be a bridesmaid. Nobody's born with that seal of like bridesmaid, groomsman. Like, chill out, people.
Well, anyway, let us know. Like, what is your opinions on this? Did we have some bad takes? Did we have some good takes? Let us know down in the comments below. Be sure to like this video, share it with somebody who maybe is looking at getting married soon and needs some help and some suggestions and recommendations. And be sure to subscribe to our channel. We put out videos like this pretty regularly every single week. So stay plugged in, stay connected, follow us on social media at AdrianAndSteff, and we will see you guys later.